Now let's see this topic of finding out the maxima and minima. So in order to find out the maxima and minima of a function, you are supposed to find out f dash of x. So after finding out f dash of x, you have to equate it to 0 for finding the stationary points. So this is step 1 is find out the first derivative, and step 2 is find out the stationary points. So what I mean by this is, if you have a function like this, let's say you have a function like this, okay. Now whenever you draw a tangent to this function, if the tangent happens to be parallel to x-axis, right, then only its slope is going to be 0, isn't it? Therefore at a maximum point or minimum point of a function, generally we get a tangent which is parallel to x-axis, which means its slope is going to be 0, right? Then only we can say that a function is going to be either maximum or minimum at that point. Got it? For that reason, first find out f dash of x and then find out the stationary points by equating it to 0. Stationary points means the points at which the tangent is having a slope 0, that is called as the stationary point. Got it? Okay, at each stationary point, now we are supposed to find out double derivative of x. Okay, if double derivative at that stationary point, let us say the stationary point is x naught, if the double derivative at that point x naught is greater than 0, then the function has minimum value. If it is less than 0 double derivative, then the function has maximum value. But then if it is equal to 0, then we need to probe further, then we need to find out the third derivative. Now in case if third derivative is not equal to 0, then we can say that the function has neither maximum nor minimum at that point. Got it? So in case if the third derivative, see this one, so in case if the third derivative is equal to 0, then we have to find out the fourth derivative. Got it? So what does it mean? So whenever you look at the even powers, that is where we are going to decide whether the point is going to be maximum or minimum. Whenever you have odd derivatives, they all should be 0. So whenever the odd derivatives are not equal to 0, we will not be able to, or we can say that the point is neither minimum nor maximum, right? So which means if a point has to be minimum or maximum, then all the odd derivatives at that point should be equal to 0, and the even derivative should be either less than 0 or greater than 0. So which means it is, now fourth derivative is nothing but the even derivative, isn't it? So fourth derivative, if it is positive, we can say that it is having a minimum at that point. If it is the fourth derivative is negative, we can say that the point is having maximum at that point, right? Now you have to repeat this process until the point is decided, which means until you reach a point where, or until you reach a derivative where it is saying that even derivative is equal to 0, I mean odd derivative is equal to 0 or not equal to 0. Till that point you have to go on, right? So one more thing, the note is, it must be remembered that this method is not applicable to those critical points where f dash of x remains undefined. So whenever you find out that f dash x is not existing, you cannot apply this method. Okay. So one more point here is, see, various points is, these points are called stationary points, right? So in case if you get any other point which is not those, then it is called as inflection point. So inflection point means the point which is not either minimum or maximum. Got it? So if a point happens to be not a minimum or maximum, then we can call it as the inflection point. So this is all about the theory. You will be able to understand this method once we take an example, right? So let's see some examples on this, then you will be able to understand it. See, always the process is same. First try to find out the first derivative and then try to equate it to 0, and after that find out all the stationary points and decide whether that stationary point is going to be minimum or maximum only at the even derivatives. At the even derivatives, if it is greater than 0, it is minimum point. If it is less than 0, it is maximum point, right? And at the odd derivatives, you have to see whether it is 0 or not 0. In case if it is 0, we have to go on to the even derivative again. If it is not equal to 0, then only you can stop there and say that it is neither minimum nor maximum, which means it is an inflection point. Got it? Okay, we shall see some examples. With those, this method will be clear. Okay.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So First reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%. But all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkey's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkey, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkey is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkey. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.